movies back.
Welcome back to another episode of Movies Are Back, a podcast of two dudes talking about movies. I'm your host, Christopher John, and with me is my co-host, Rhys Tarling.
Chrissy, get out of my face. I'm dejected.
Why? Why should I do that? I want to be in your face.
I'm very dejected. We got a sad episode.
No. Well, we don't have anyone who majorly died, so that's good. We're not starting.
True.
This
We have
one
an
with, like, a
unusually
death.
morbid podcast because we always start with who died.
Yeah.
Every other
Well, look,
episode.
there's no deaths this week. I promise you that.
There's the death of a big movie, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, then we'll talk about that in our big movie segment. What is the big movie of the week?
Is it dead or
obviously.
is it stillborn? That's what we're going to be talking about.
I think
suppose.
that remains to be seen. This is also very different because we're recording this on a Thursday. We usually record this on like a Sunday.
Yeah, fuck it. I had a day off, and I'm like, I haven't recorded an episode with old Chrissy for about 2 weeks, and we try to keep to that 2 week schedule.
Exactly.
So,
Which I think really works because you're able to, we're able to have like a big movie that comes out.
yeah,
But then if we time it correctly, we can also then talk about it the week after it comes out and kind of see some of the fallout, like box office wise and all that sort of stuff.
true.
We'll get into some movie news. This was a piece of news that I actually completely forgot to add in, even though it's actually, I feel like, pretty important. So Luca Guadagnino directed Challengers and Call Me By Your Name and Queer and a lot of really good movies. His new movie Artificial was supposed to be done through Amazon, but they dropped the movie completely. Just took it off and then didn't want it anymore. Now, do you know about this?
I had no idea.
So the movie is called Artificial, and it's about Sam Altman and OpenAI. And it has Andrew Garfield playing Sam Altman. It has Ike Barinholtz from the studio and a bunch of other stuff. He's playing Elon Musk. And this is supposed to be... It's written by someone who's written a bunch of stuff for SNL. I think it's going to be like a... Very much, I see it being like a social network, but for like something that's much more modern, like today.
Yeah.
Having, obviously Andrew Garfield playing Sam Altman. But yeah, so Amazon has completely dropped the movie, which is most likely because Amazon itself has
invested
signed...
in AI.
Exactly, yeah.
And it's like kind of a critical of AI, I imagine.
Yeah, oh, very much so. Like,
So why'd they pick it up in the first place?
I don't know. Well, I mean, they've kind of been... like, Luca's actually had a pretty good relationship with them in the past. He did Bones and All and Challengers through Amazon, and also After the Hunt. However, Challengers made money, but Bones and All didn't, and After the Hunt was
That
actually
flopped.
That was real bad.
Yeah.
I actually watched that last year, and I was like, this
Seems very
awful.
uninteresting,
No.
but he finds it interesting, that vibe.
So that is getting now picked up by Neon. That news kind of dropped 2 weeks ago, and now Neon is going to be picking it up, which makes more sense.
Yeah, they're very friendly to like indie artists and stuff.
In general, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
they've won like last 5-6 Palme d'Or winners have been through them.
Right.
They've distributed all 6 of those movies, as far as I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is this getting a cinema release then?
It should be, yeah. I think it's
When?
just interesting that now we're having like these massive AR companies having much more say over like what art we're producing that can actually say something
Well, there
about
was
them.
one with Chris Pratt in an AI movie, and it was like kind of pro AI. So I'm very I didn't even
It was
watch
Mercy.
it. Yeah.
I saw that in the cinemas.
Oh my god, what's wrong with you?
Well, no, to be fair, I had my discounts. So I
Okay.
went to go see that for like $10.
Still.
In IMAX, actually. That was my first experience with IMAX at our Inaloo cinema. And I was like,
So
yeah,
bizarre.
that was awful. Why did I go pay to see that? But yeah, that was kind of a bit more friendly towards AI. I remember the creator, Gareth Edwards' movie.
Oh yeah.
That was also kind of not friendly towards it, but it had this relationship where it's saying, maybe
It treated them like a race of beings almost or something,
which
right?
that's certainly a take on it, but I
I
don't
thought
know.
that movie like looked amazing, but I couldn't tell you fuck all about the plot. Like
No,
when I was watching
the
it, I
same.
was just lost.
We also got a first trailer for Robert Eggers' Werewolf. Have you watched that one?
Didn't see it.
Ooh, it's all grimy and gross and shitty, and everything's just kind of gnarly. And there's some
Lily Rose Depp is going to be in this one too.
yeah,
right?
she's got a big ass hair lip sort of scar, and she's got like gross teeth and stuff. I'm like, cool.
Is she the werewolf?
No, it's Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Oh, who is she?
She's I think his wife because it's 13th century England, so everyone's just like, you're going to be cursed, and all this sort of like really weird, gross-faced people, which I think those are actual real people. People are like, oh, I want a bunch of freaks in my movie. I'm like, those are actual real people. They just cast because they have distinctive looks. Let's maybe back off a bit there. But this, I mean, it's following on from Nosferatu, which I thought was actually terrific. As a big fan of the original film, I think that he did a fantastic job, not only kind of remaking it, but also commenting on a lot of other issues for it. So I just love Robert Eggers in general. He's made 4 movies now that have all been kind of my favorites of each given year.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited for this one. Also because I hope that it's a better werewolf movie. Like, I can't really name to you a werewolf movie that I actually genuinely like.
The last one I even saw was in 2010 with Emily Blunt. And I think it was called The Werewolf or something.
It was called The Wolf Man. It was
The
a remake.
Wolf Man,
Yeah.
Benicio del Toro. For some reason, it's very forgettable, but somehow memorable because I remember it 16 years later.
It's memorable because you've got at the end. I mean, I'm going to spoil it because who the hell's going to watch that movie? But I only really like that. It was Joe Johnston.
Oh, yeah.
He did Captain America. and
Yes.
The Rocketeer.
Rocketeer, that was a good one.
Someone good. I think that one got decimated by like reshoots and poor test screenings and stuff like that. But it's really memorable because at the end, the Wolfman Benicio del Toro fights his dad, who's Anthony Hopkins, who's also a wolf. So it's Anthony Hopkins in werewolf makeup, and it looks just absurd, but also like that looks actually really good though. It won the Oscar for best makeup.
Man, and Benicio del Toro is good casting for a Wolfman because you just look at him, and you're like, yeah, it's a Wolfman.
Yeah, he's got a
He looks
feral,
wolfish.
Yeah. Which I mean, casting Aaron Taylor Johnson as a werewolf as well. That works.
No, that's fine.
He's a very hairy individual, so
Yeah.
fair enough. That comes out. It's supposed to be coming out December 25th in the US. I think we're not getting it until like January 1st, which sucks balls.
Well, that's when we got Nosferatu.
Yeah.
I remember seeing that New Year's Day.
I guess they wanted it to be like a winter release in America, but like here it's going to be the height of summer, man. So all these sort of like cold, grimy environments, I don't know, it doesn't work for us as much. Look, that's a stupid complaint, but that's I will still want to make it anyway.
All right, go ahead.
My opinions
Who's stopping you?
My opinions are valid. Thank you very much.
Sometimes. Most of the time.
We also had news that the Odyssey is skipping influencer screenings, just completely, like, just not even going to have any of those TikTokers and influencer people.
Well, you know, Nolan's got that pull, doesn't he? He's like, I want them fucking people far away from...
I mean, makes sense. Like, it's going to be a screening that's like a traditional one, like with just film.
It has been screened, hasn't it? People have seen it.
I think so. I think I've maybe seen.
I
some,
think
like,
people have seen it, but like they're not saying. They're not allowed to say a word about it.
No, of course not. Why would they?
Because it's going to be a disaster.
I try and avoid a lot of Odyssey news on this podcast.
Well, it's coming out so soon, and
just because Rhys has this weird thing where he believes that it's going to be a flop.
Oh yeah, it's going to be a flop, and it's not going to be received well.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I mean, it remains to be seen, but
it doesn't look right.
You're absolutely wrong.
Doesn't look right. I was really hyped actually for the first images and the trailer, and then the more I've seen, the more I'm like, this doesn't feel. I don't know. I don't have a good feeling about it, to be honest.
I'm flying all the way to Melbourne to go see this thing, so it kind of has to be good.
You're gonna have to like. That's what I told you. It's like no matter what, you're gonna be raving about it because you've invested so much to go see it.
If it's not good, then I will say it's not good. I'm very honest. I feel like I'm very honest with my opinions about movies.
You're honest, but it's like you're clouded because it's like it's a sunk cost fallacy. I've already expended this much effort and money to see the movie. It can't be bad.
Well, look, you're gonna have to find out now, won't you?
We'll see.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe I'll admit if I'm wrong. Fuck it.
Yeah, look, but I think it's a good idea for them to. In general, I don't think any movie really needs social media hype, especially not this kind of movie. Like,
no, it doesn't need it.
People are going to go see it anyway. I'm sure.
And for some reason, it would kind of like diminish it somehow. Like, it does feel a bit more special that they're not doing that usual bullshit where the influencers come out and.
But it also doesn't even like. It doesn't move the needle for me. Like, if I see a film critic go see a movie...
Well, it's not going to move the... Yeah, it's not. It doesn't need that hype. Like, people are going to watch it.
I do... As much as people want to say, critics don't know anything, I actually do trust some film critics.
No, like proper film critics, not like influencers.
People
it's
like
a real difference.
Peter Bradshaw of The Guardian or Justin Chang from The New Yorker. Those are...
Yeah, I love Walter Chaw, like, from Film Freak. I mean, I rarely agree with him, but... I love reading his arguments. You know, he feels it feels informed.
Yeah. And there are some YouTube people that I agree with, but
that's
they're not.
Zeitz, you know,
they're not the kind of people that get these kinds of screenings, or they start a lot of YouTube critics that I actually respect are kind of still sticking with the I'm still a normal person. I'm going to go see this in a normal way. Like I think Chris Stuckman still goes to screenings, but he's still like a normal.
He's the worst critic.
He used to be great.
He used to be okay, and now
once
it's
he started
just
making
atrocious.
movies, yeah. I mean,
Pointless watching him.
The one I love a lot is Cosmonaut Marcus.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah,
he does like year-end reviews of stuff that he calls it like, you know, I'm gonna get you guys to eat your vegetables. So we'll talk about like actual movies, not just comic book stuff and Marvel movies or whatever. Like he actually does want to look at things like Nosferatu and The Substance as well. He does like a year-end review to say, hey, this is what I thought about it. Love this. I'm like, cool, awesome. I respect his opinion a lot. Mm-hmm. So yeah, this is fine to me. Honestly, I don't want influencers in my screenings. They're annoying. They don't watch movies. They're just there to take their pictures with their ring lights, and then that's it. And they go home saying, it was great.
They're just there to promote the movie.
Exactly.
I mean, they're just promoters.
Might as well just get paid for it. This is big news because this dropped this morning that we're recording this. PlayStation will be ending all production of physical games starting from 2028 in January. Now, sure, this is movies are back, so you might be thinking, why are you talking about games? It directly affects this because, I don't know, you could probably test this. I bought a PlayStation 5 2 years ago.
Yeah, me too, 2 years ago.
Because I knew that I wanted to get 4K movies. I knew that 4K was a cool investment for movies I want to buy. I'd have bought it not only to play new games, but because it was a 4K player.
Is there a 4K player?
There is, yeah. Panasonic makes them, Sony makes them,
How much
Samsung.
would they be?
Oh, they run you anywhere between like, I think as low as like 300, but then up to like maybe 750 or maybe even 1,000.
That's crazy because you could just use a PS4.
True.
PS5.
Yeah, but these ones, at least the other players, the thing with the PS5 for me is that it never had Dolby Vision.
Okay, so it's missing some of the accoutrements.
It's missing some of that. What does this mean? Ending production of physical games. Well, it's a big, hurdle that is now put in front of physical media in general. I do have physical games. I like buying physical games because if I finish it and I have a friend or a brother who wants to play, say, for example, Astrobot, then I can give that to them because I bought it and now they can play it and then they can give it back to me. I can play it and we can get all this value out of only I think I paid $60 for that game.
Well, yeah, and that was part of the fun of having a gaming console as a kid is trading games with your friends and stuff.
Yeah.
And to get rid of that, and it's getting more expensive too, like because there'll be the PS6 coming out whenever the fuck, like a few
sometime next year, I think.
Yeah, and like I've said, the PS5 doesn't even have an iconic game of its own yet. I mean, it has good games, but there's no like iconic PS5 game.
Yeah, we were talking about this. Like PS2 had, PS1 had like Spyro and I think one of the Metal Gear Solids came out in PS1, and then PS2 more good Metal Gear Solid titles, Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto 3 was huge, revolutionary.
Yeah, and
then
then
PS3, The Last of Us, like introducing that kind of cinematic storytelling.
Yeah, GTA 5. Well, 4 and 5 came out for the PS3 era, and just like gangbusters. PS4 at least still had like Horizon Zero Dawn, Marvel's Spider-Man, Last of Us Part 2 as well, like these big titles. PS5 I think has struggled to even just have like not sure we've had great games, but and this is what I mentioned to you is that Sony and PlayStation have not had a genuine big hit exclusive title to their platform in years. It's only been either sequels or games you could also get on
They've had
PC.
to remaster old iconic games.
It's all remasters and remakes now as well. Like, we were on the precipice of Assassin's Creed Black Flag they're remaking that game. And sure, that looks interesting, looks cool, but what's the point? Like, it's cool for like your 30-year-old gamers or,
that's
people
the thing,
close to my
like
brother's
people,
age.
it's all just aimed at a niche middle-aged people.
Yeah,
it's not for kids anymore.
Yeah, they know the millennials have the money to pay for that, but gaming's supposed to be for kids.
You're supposed to introduce a new generation.
Yeah.
Like, it's supposed to be accessible. Like, they grow up and then, it goes on, and that's how it stays relevant.
But they're not. But families are not going to buy a
PS6. $1,300 PS6.
Yeah, the PS6 is rumored to cost anywhere between like $1,000 to $1,300 or something crazy. I can't remember what the rumors suggest.
Yeah, and you
but
hear about these horrendous conditions with making these games, like crunch times.
Oh,
like
yeah.
The documentary on The Last of Us Part 2, it's like, Jesus Christ, I'm watching them have strokes in real time, like, and die from the stress.
Yeah.
And it's like, what, for something that most people shit on?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
You know, it's sad.
Mean, you can't determine that sort of response to it, but in general, like, it is true. I mean, GTA 6 recently announced that they are not going to have a physical disc on launch, that it's only going to be digital or...
Wait, GTA 6 is not going to have a physical...
No, it's going to have a disc. Not at all.
What?
Yeah, so when you buy... If you go to, like, EB Games here in Australia...
They won't even have the fucking...
No. You'll buy a box and it'll have a download code inside and that's it.
So yeah, it's like you don't even own it. It's just part of the internet.
You will own nothing and you'll be happy about it. That's
Yeah.
what they're doing now. And everyone's doing this. I mean, we've seen this with physical media for movies, that, you know, streaming services are so much more beneficial to you know, film studios, because it means that it's this constant influx of revenue. It's just constant. It's constant monetization. That's what they want.
Yeah.
They want to monetize,
Because once you buy it, the exchange is over.
Exactly.
But they don't want the exchange to be over. It has to be in perpetuity. So they'll shift it to this streaming service and that streaming service and YouTube and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. But there's also reasons why. They're not just doing it because they're like, we hate you. We want to make money. Sure, they do. But like GTA 6, they're trying to maximize sales because...
Well, look, it cost $1 billion to make.
Exactly. They've cost anywhere between $1 to $1.5 billion.
They don't want anybody playing that game for free.
No, they want you to buy that game 3 separate times if possible. But I actually realized I've bought GTA 5, I think, 3 times. We bought it on PS3, we bought it on PS4, and I think we accidentally sold it or gave it away, and then I had to buy it again. I can't remember, but still, like, I paid multiple times for that one game.
And then how can they double dip GTA 6? Like, when's the remaster? Like 10 years down the line or whatever?
Look at the PS6 version. Oh, if you want to get the upgrade, you got to give us $20 more bucks.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
And wait till do the digital download until then. Like,
yeah. But that means that if it's digital, you know, they can control sale times, they can control the retail price, they can make it $150 and nobody can touch them about that. You'll try and sue them, but they'll only get a slap on the wrist of like $5 million. It's like, it's talking about Sony, they make billions, but they're not. And here's the other big thing, is that console gaming in general, across, you know, Xbox and PlayStation, that is at its lowest point in years. Like, we are talking that PS5s and new Xboxes are not selling anywhere near the kinds of units that actually make them affordable. At this point, they're making these consoles at a loss. And with the new hardware, with all the AI data centers taking up all the storage space, all these finite metals they need for these consoles, they're having to make each individual unit for something like $800, $900, which means they need to then sell it at $1,000 or $1,200 to make their money back.
Yeah.
And they are not, and they've said this, they are not in the business of losing money on consoles. They just straight up are not going to do it. So that's where we're at, and that's why they're taking away the physical media. That's why, so that way they can then control the pricing and make it more, and then what are you going to do about it?
Nothing.
You're going to go elsewhere.
It's not in isolation they're doing this. I mean, they're in a market where there's like physical limitations now with like, the war in Iran. I'm sure that the Strait of Hormuz seizing up, that makes things more expensive. So it's all part of that.
Like, PVC prices are like crazy because of that, because petroleum is used in the manufacturing of plastic products.
Yes, yeah.
So that's definitely a factor there, and
yeah,
that's not looking to get any better anytime soon.
I mean, who would you talk to in real life, and you're like, are you going to get the $1,200 PS6?
Or are you going to spend maybe a little bit more to build your own PC, for example, that you can then play all the games you want? Because if you have a PC hardware, you've got Steam, you can get PC Game Pass, you can get literally thousands of titles, and guess what? You can play with all your friends. Like, my brothers all have PCs, I don't. So most of the time I feel like I'm getting left out. And now at this point, with what PlayStation's wanting to do, I'm now actually considering getting a PC for myself. Like, I know that's probably like $3,000-$4,000, and that is still having, skyrocketing prices for RAM and shit. But like, that feels like a better investment than a PS6 at this point.
Yeah.
Because even like the technology,
I can't imagine what they're going to do to get people excited to buy a PS6. Like, what? I don't know.
I reckon,
beyond me.
I said this to you before, and I think that the market would definitely agree with this, that I think that, you know, the PS6 and Xbox's Project Helix, which is their new console, I predict that these are going to be the very last. This is going to be the last generation of console gaming. I cannot see the technology evolving in a way that would actually
demands a PS7.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had this now. The PS5 has not sold as much as the PS4. The PS4 has not sold more than the PS3.
Yeah,
it's all
a clear decline.
It's all declining.
Yeah,
and that's just reality. Like PC gaming is bigger. Nintendo is still doing well.
I think it's because Nintendo's fine because it's like they attract kids.
Mm-hmm.
But I think with the PlayStation, it's less and less for kids.
It's more for millennials. It's more for people that remember console gaming at its heyday, the PS2 era, PS3 era. They remember a 360, you know, going over your mate's house and playing COD on an Xbox, playing Halo on Xbox as well. They know that, they rely on that. But guess what?
There's a ceiling with that.
Yeah, exactly. And if everything else is more expensive, those people, that's your market, they're going to be less inclined to spend $1,000 on a fucking new PlayStation.
Yeah, there you go. That's true.
It's so dumb. And it affects movies as well, because if Sony wants to stop making physical discs for games, what's to stop them from making physical discs for movies in general? They're the ones who created the goddamn Blu-ray format. So at a dime, they can be like, nah, we're not going to do that anymore. Suck shit. Bye.
Yeah.
And they're already looking to get out of that market. They're making deals with other people. They're selling off a lot of other production elements. I've read reports about this. So none of this is good. Everything sucks. Buy physical media when you can. And if you can't, steal it. I don't give a shit.
The writing on the wall for physical media was certainly when all the blockbusters closed down.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know?
But look, I have faith that the youngest generations, the Gen Zs out there, you know, people that I know who are under the age of 25, they like DVDs. They like collecting DVDs and Blu-rays and movies and buying vinyls for their favorite artists.
Because for them, I think at a certain point, physical stuff is kind of a novelty.
It's even just cheaper. It's just
cheaper
in general. Like,
Yeah.
you can buy secondhand movies for way cheaper than when they were first sold. You know? And the same with games as well. I was able to buy recently an old Ratchet & Clank game for PS3 for like $9. That game was probably sold at like $60 or $70 brand new.
Yeah.
And it was $9 from eBay. I was like, cool. Now I've got that forever.
Yeah.
No one can take that away. You're going to have to pry that out of my cold, dead hands.
Yeah.
Ah.
They'll do it.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on to... Oh, wait, no. Not better news, because the big movie of not even this week and not even last week, but big movie for the podcast has been Supergirl.
Yay.
Yeah, look, we want to be positive about this. In fact, to kind of pull back the curtain a bit, I would say that we were both very positive when we first saw this a week ago.
I would say, like, when the movie ended, we were kind of moderately positive. I think we were like thinking like a 7 out of 10.
For sure.
Yeah, like
I would say that as well, yeah.
Yeah, because it wasn't... It was interesting sometimes, and it had some, like... Millie Alcock was great as Supergirl.
I'll do a story synopsis. So Millie Alcock plays Kara, who's Supergirl. In this story, it's not a sequel to Superman, even though the marketing is very heavy on the S-Shield iconography.
Yeah, not really an origin story for Supergirl either, really.
No, but we do get some bits and pieces. That's in the trailer as well. She is on a quest of revenge for this young girl, Ruthie, who her family is killed by a brigand named Krem of the Yellow Hills, and they go on a quest of revenge across the galaxy. Also, because Supergirl has her dog Crypto get poisoned by the same guy, so they're both, wanting payback in some way, and they go on this massive journey. Also involves Jason Momoa as Lobo, who's a space bounty hunter. Why is he here? I don't know, but he's here just to say, hey, how you going? I'm Lobo. I'm part of the comics too. Not this one, but this is the big thing about this is it's based on an actual book.
Yes, The Woman of Tomorrow by Tom King,
with art by Bilky Everly.
Yes, and the art was the big thing about the book.
Yes.
Like, it's like this Frank Frazetta heavy metal, colorful, trippy visuals. Mythic, painterly.
So,
gorgeous.
It's very. I haven't read the book. Rhys has, but I've looked at a lot of the art online.
You get the idea.
Yeah,
right?
I get the idea.
Yeah.
When they announced this movie back in when did James Gunn take over DC? It was like 2022 when James Gunn came in. He said, "Cool, we're going to be doing Superman, and we're going to be doing these other bits and pieces, but we're also going to be doing a Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow adaptation." And they used the art as concept, like to say, "This is what it's going to be." And a lot of people out there thought that could be absolutely awesome if you can do that book as a movie. then that could be something truly, truly special. And I was genuinely excited to see that. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of the trailers that have come out, the movie doesn't actually look bad. Like, not like
it's
it doesn't
not
look
terrible
bad,
looking. Yeah,
but it doesn't look like a book.
It's uninspired.
Yeah, and
I would
that's
say. Yeah,
I would say that's the thing that's kind of
it's
swimming around my brain.
It's uninspired. Like, it's set across the cosmos, so it's like our first big introduction to the galaxy and the this James Gunn DC universe.
Yep.
And it just feels like an expensive Firefly episode.
Like, ooh, that's a good... I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, it does look like that. I mean, that's what the
brown.
main visual inspiration seems to be.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, yeah, that worked for Firefly, like a TV show in 2002 on a shoestring budget.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be like a Western.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I know the story DNA is like from a Western, but does it have to look like a drab Western?
Yeah, because the story is basically it's
like
true
Shane Grit, you know, that kind of thing. Like Supergirl is a cynical gunslinger.
She's supposed to be Rooster Coburn, and Ruthier is the little girl that needs the grizzled, battle hardened person to fight for her, and she doesn't really want to do it. Millie Alcock, also, by the way, was actually in the Superman movie from last year. At the very end, she had a little cameo
she's
appearance.
At the very end, and it's like a fun little Easter egg. It's not really a setup. It's like a little fun Easter egg. Like, oh, that's her dog.
Yeah,
like,
it explains why Krypto is the way that he is.
And she's clearly like different, than Superman. It's cute. It's a cute scene.
It's a cute scene, and Superman is also in this movie. Like, he makes a couple of little cameo appearances. What do we like? What do we like about this? We'll start there. Before we get into the other stuff.
I liked Millie Alcock.
Yeah.
His performance.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's thin material she's given, but I think she is good enough that you kind of are like forgetting sometimes how kind of ordinary it is.
Yeah. I like that she, in comparison to other female superhero films that we've seen, or particularly female DC films, a lot of people have talked about its relationship to something like Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
The way that Wonder Woman's movie plays out. I think that she has so much more of a complexity to her character, and the way that Millie Alcock plays that is that she is very self-destructive, and I really enjoy that we get a Supergirl on screen. First off, this is the only other Supergirl movie we've ever had, except for the one from 1984.
Which no one remembers.
No, but we talked about this, that the worst version of Supergirl that you could do, or also the most uninteresting, at least to me, is if you just make her girl Superman. Like, she's
like,
chipper and
like
dorky
female Clark Kent kind of thing.
That's
which they
boring.
did in the CW TV series.
Which is fine, because she's the focus of that show. Superman is there, but not really.
Yeah.
But I like that this Supergirl is very clearly a different person. There is really no similarities between her and David Corenswet's Superman.
I like that, maybe it doesn't work in the story, but I like that she killed the villain at the end. Like, I'm not saying...
Well, that's a big-ass spoiler.
Who cares? No one cares. Like, let's just give our thoughts.
We'll do some spoilers as well.
It's not a big deal anyway.
No,
so
because also you could probably expect that
but
as well.
I like... Like, it doesn't make sense much in the story, and it doesn't feel cathartic, but I just like the visual of just her fucking stabbing him in the throat.
Yeah, no, that's...
Like, it's pretty sick.
I think she has a good visual. I think she also looks really good in the costume when she actually wears the costume.
Yeah, which is, that's when we'll get into our negatives a bit more. But what else did I like?
I really liked the Krypton flashbacks.
Yes, I did like that. It felt weirdly placed in the movie.
Yeah, they were. I reckon
I feel like they would have shifted in the edit where that scene belongs. Like, would that be at the beginning?
It was
weird sort of in the middle. It didn't make sense, the placement of it. But the positive was it.
Even our positives still have negatives attached to that. But
I liked the look of it.
I really like also how it was written. There's a big sort of element of this. I don't think this is really a spoiler, just because, and again...
Who cares about spoilers?
We'll say that. The origin for her in the comics for the longest time now, as far as I remember, has been that Supergirl is actually technically supposed to be older than Superman, and she left at the same time as he did. However, she got stuck in the Phantom Zone or time vortex or whatever, and then she's gotten to Earth, and then turns out it's 30 years later and Superman's older than her at this point.
Yeah.
However, I've now realized that's only a recent change. That's only been around since like the 2004 or something like that.
Yeah, they've changed her thing a fair amount, because I think it's a character that's never really resonated much.
No, and she's
so
had
they're trying to always find new angles with it.
So, but in this movie, they go back to her original origin, where instead of it being the whole she's older than him, instead she's not even born when Krypton explodes. Instead, she's born inside
this colony that's separate.
Yeah, it's like a bottled
escapes,
city. Yeah, it's like a globe, little asteroid city version of one of the cities from Krypton that exploded out into the stars, and she gets born there. But that city then gets poisoned by the Earth that is underneath.
There's kryptonite growing it in.
Yeah, it's kryptonite. They've realized that when Krypton exploded, it let out this kryptonite, which actually starts killing all the citizens. So she gets shunted off by her dad because it's going to poison everyone. He wants to save his daughter.
Yeah.
When she goes off, she is already 20 years old or something like that.
Teenager, I guess.
Yeah. And then she goes to Earth, and Superman is already older than her. That's just part of it.
Yeah.
I really like that. I think that actually...
I like that it gives her an element of survivor's guilt.
Yeah, exactly. She saw her world die. She saw her people die. She watched her parents basically die or just get left off to die in space. It's just that's part of a character. I think that's a really great way of centering the character. I think it's also really good because even though yes, Phantom Zone, that's cool because it's all time dilation, I think it's a lot better to just make it simpler.
It's a bit cleaner.
Yeah, to just say, look, she's younger than him, but she never met him.
And
she was born
visually
later.
with the casting, it's hard to buy that she's more mature, older than him.
No, exactly.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
I think that she's better as that sort of, the darker, sort of more inward-looking younger sibling.
Yeah.
I can buy that so much more. Because also there seems to be a very solid difference between the two. And again, I really like that. I think that's a great way to center this character, especially also because it's confirmed she's going to be in Man of Tomorrow, the Superman sequel. Very excited to see what kind of role she plays there as part of more of his story at the same time. Or if, she ends up having a bigger role in the DCU moving forward, because it doesn't seem like they're going to abandon this character. They like this character, but
I think it's a bit dependent on how Man of Tomorrow does.
Exactly. Well, yeah, we'll see how that goes. As other positives, I really like Jason Momoa as Lobo because
I liked him too. He was great. It's obviously great casting.
Yeah, it's
and
perfect
he does give it an injection of fun that's missing.
I really like the scene where Ruthie is they're in the cells together, Ruthie and Lobo, and Lobo kind of gets her to do the whole pretend to be scared, try to break out herself.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of going yeah, that's good. He's just kind of playing it off, being yeah, you know what, you're helping me now. I like the way that they write that character in that way. I think that's a new scene. Just in general, it's not part of.
Well, Lobo's not even in the comic.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, that was the weird thing. Is he's not in the comic, but I guess they just want to put him in here because why not?
It just felt why not? There was no real. That's getting more into the negatives now. But I don't know. My impression of the movie wasn't immediately negative, but
no.
Thinking of it a week later, we saw it a week ago.
Yeah.
I'm just I couldn't recommend this movie to anybody.
No.
I don't know who this movie's for. Nothing about it stood out.
I have two people in my life who asked me about this. My dad had seen Superman and he liked it.
Yeah.
And when I think we did see a trailer for this for one movie, I can't remember what. And he's like, oh yeah, fair enough. And then when I called him as I was driving home, I was like, oh, I just saw Supergirl. He's like, oh yeah, no, it's Millie Alcock. She's very interesting casting. I went, yeah, no, it's pretty good. I said that at first. And then my brother asked me, he went to go Superman with me last year, and he said, oh, we're going to go see Supergirl. And I went, uh-huh.
Yeah.
I could not genuinely
There's nothing
say.
you can think of where you're oh, I can't wait for you to watch this scene in the movie.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? With Superman, there's at least 3 scenes where oh, I can't wait for you to see that bit.
Over a week later since we've seen it, I cannot really think of a big moment in the movie where I've seen every single DC movie just because I had a lot of time on my hands last year.
Yeah.
And even some of the weakest ones, or even ones that I'm really not that crash hot about, I can still say, you got to watch that bit. Zack Snyder's Justice League is 4 hours of him just, hey, look how dark and brooding I am. However, that has so many genuinely brilliant moments that I would happily watch again. Cyborg's whole little story that he has, his whole little flashbacks, or Flash entering the Speed Force is such a cool moment.
Superman's return in that one is so fun.
Absolutely. Or Wonder Woman, a movie that I've become more mixed on as the years have gone on. The no man's land sequence.
That's the first thing you think of. It's like that scene.
It brings tears to your eyes. You don't have to care about the character. Just be like, this is actually.
And at least her and Chris Pine have a fun rapport.
Exactly.
Like in the movie, you could say that. But this, it's like there's nothing to despise and there's nothing to love.
Yeah,
and I think
it's the death of the sort of mid.
Yeah, and I think it's just a huge mismatch between director and material. You know. Like Craig Gillespie, I saw I, Tonya. I know he's done some other good movies.
He's an Australian director as well.
Yeah.
He directed the Fright Night remake. He directed Cruella. He did Lars and the Real Girl, which I've never seen, but I've heard is actually pretty good. That was a long time ago now. He's fine as a director.
It's fine, but it's like...
He doesn't have a...
He's completely wrong for this.
No, he doesn't really have like a distinctive
I don't think he gets
vision.
He doesn't have a distinctive vision. I don't think he gets the genre's conventions. I think at a basic level, you have to understand that when she finally gets in the suit, like, don't nerf her for the fourth time like they do constantly.
Yeah, they take away her powers so many
often.
times. And they do that in Superman as well. There's a big moment where he loses his powers, but it's one big moment.
It's just a chunk of the movie. And when he gets it back, you're like, oh my God. Like,
but also when he gets it, he doesn't get it back for like a little bit.
Yeah.
As well. Oh, sorry, he gets it back, but then he has to heal afterwards, and that's a long stretch of time.
And that lets the movie slow down for a
Exactly.
bit, for the more quieter moments that are nice. So there's like a purpose to it. But for this one, it just felt like, is this ever going to get going? I mean, if I understand she's going to these planets to get drunk, you know, and
that was fun. I like that introduction.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
But it just felt like she never became Supergirl, like the hero.
She doesn't get her costume, the sort of the actual costume that's very reminiscent of Superman's. Very similar, obviously. The same S design, even the same sort of lines, like the piping on her arms. Great looking costume, by the way.
It's awesome.
Like, I cannot imagine a better looking costume for a Supergirl in a movie. Way better than the Flash version. I really don't like that costume.
That one was crap.
But she doesn't get it until the very end of the film. Whereas it's
the very last
I don't want to
scene.
keep comparing this to Superman, but it has to, because it wants to compare itself, because it is a companion film.
It's super. It's got the logo. Yeah. You know, that's how it's advertised.
Superman has him in the costume for like 80% of the movie.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't end up in the costume, he's Clark Kent. Like, he's in the sort of... That's it. Like, there's nothing else. He's in the costume the entire time. And I'm sure that's a lot to ask for, but I don't know why they didn't just go with her being in the costume. I guess maybe she doesn't want it. She wants to reject it, and it's kind of a big moment, but put it through in the middle of the movie, or I don't know. I just don't understand why they decided to make it a reveal in some way.
I know, because it's
in the poster. Like,
in the poster and in the Superman scene, she's wearing the costume. So it's not like she rejects this costume.
And also, yeah, exactly. I was literally at the end of Superman. She's in her costume.
So it's like, oh yeah, she's been Supergirl for a bit. Like,
and also, like, maybe even make up a reason that, like, oh, if she wears that, it actually provides...
quitting? Like, you know, is she not... Like, do you know what I mean? Like, in this movie, it's like, she's not wearing the costume ever, and you're thinking, is she not Supergirl yet, or has she rejected it? Like, you don't know how she feels about it.
It would, like, maybe make up a story reason that she wears it because, you know, it provides, like, some kind of protection in some way, or she's just come back. You know what? She's just come back from actually doing something that involves something with the costume, and she just forgot to take it off because she's drunk.
Yeah,
that could
something.
work.
Yeah,
like, I just literally came up. I'm not saying I could write this movie better, but
have a reason for things. You know, have a reason. That's what I mean. He doesn't understand the conventions. Like,
and I like the trench coat. I like the trench coat and sunglasses.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's a cool look.
You know, but that's from the book, I'm pretty sure, as well.
The trench coat over the costume is like one of the visuals they lifted from the book. Probably the only one.
And that's a very Western visual as well. So that's cool.
Yeah, it's just the aesthetic is a big problem, especially because
and that's my biggest problem with this movie.
It is, and it's like, in that aesthetic, you've got Lobo, who is like, you know, this kind of pirate sort of, you know, outlaw character, and he's in this setting, and he doesn't stand out though. Like, he could just be part of the background, Lobo.
Yeah, I thought
he should pop. Like, there should be some contrast or something, but it's like everything feels too much the same. So that makes the movie feel small.
It's interesting that they base this movie on the book Woman of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's the influence. However, I think that it is a positive and a curse. It's a positive in that, okay, you've got a
strong story right
You got
there.
an idea. You got an idea of what you want to do. You don't want to just do something with superheroes. It's like, cool, we're going to base it off this book. However, when you do that, you are opening up all these criticisms of how do you do the book. And the problem is that it's not just doing a book. It's not like, for example, the Captain America Civil War, where, sure, it's taking some influence from that storyline and the title as well. But you are not going to do that storyline because it involves other characters.
They're not half-assing the comic book Civil War.
Exactly. They took the idea of it and ran with their version of it.
Yeah,
Fine.
that made sense.
This Woman of Tomorrow adaptation is still mostly a very similar story, but you're opening up, because the book is so well regarded, you're opening up a lot more criticism from fans who say it's not good enough. It's not a good enough adaptation of that story or of that visual aesthetic, which is not just, oh yeah, it's pretty well drawn. No, this is like some of the best like art that I've seen from a DC book in ages. Like it's up there with like Absolute Martian Manhunter, the way that they've drawn that book and the sort of very different way of really looking at that character and how they can really, really pop off the page.
Yeah.
And it does not come through in this movie. Again, it's actually well shot in the sort of like nuts and bolts way that a movie is shot.
Yeah, sure.
But the aesthetic, the planets that they visit are all just dirty, brown.
I don't even know how many planets they visit because they all feel the same. It might as well be
I think
3, but there's something interesting with the green sun. You know, there's a change there, but it's like...
She gets to a planet
that's near the end and it's too little too late by then.
And in the book, apparently that planet was built entirely to kill Superman.
Yeah.
Like it's built to kill Kryptonians in general.
Yeah.
But she gets stuck there on the other end of the universe. But in the movie, it's just where all the pirates live.
Yeah.
Like they just live there, I guess.
Yeah.
There's also a change for the pirates. That's a thematic change that I think is actually good, but I don't think it's done very well. And that's kind of... It brings up a lot of the comparisons people have made to Mad Max Fury Road. The pirates here are kind of sex traffickers. They're stealing young girls from planets to propagate their all-male race. Okay, dark. That's a dark way of going about it, but not bad. I want to see Supergirl fighting sex traffickers. Why not? That's interesting. However, it doesn't really go anywhere. Like, we don't really get into the real darkness of it. If you're going to do that, do it. Like, really embrace that. And... that's not beyond, I know James Gunn didn't write or direct this movie, but he's dealt with some really hard-hitting, darker elements of stories. Like Guardians 3 has a lot of like animal abuse elements that are really, really confronting, but work really well because it embraces that darkness of that kind of story idea.
Yeah.
But it only this movie just kind of plays a sort of like half-assed version of it. It has it, but it doesn't do anything with it.
They only do it so like... you feel kind of justified that she kills him at the end.
Or that she has people to save, I guess. She has someone to save.
I suppose, yeah.
I guess, but
the connection feels very thin. Like, it doesn't really feel like she's saved anybody.
Yeah. And there's not even like a real emotional moment here. I think I felt more emotion. I actually, you know what, put it this way. There's only really also that many comedic moments that really stand out. Some comic book movies, a lot of them now try and really use a lot more comedy because that's more entertaining. I found more emotion and more comedy. Like, I felt just the movie kind of suddenly, out of my chair, I'm like, oh, I'm going to pay attention more when Superman showed up.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, I think that's why I left the movie feeling kind of positive about it, because that last scene is between Superman and Supergirl.
Not even the last scene, but it cuts to... a scene where she landed on Earth.
Yeah, that's a good scene too.
And it's just the way, maybe because I'm already familiar with it. And maybe this will be the truth for Man of Tomorrow, that when Supergirl shows up in that movie, I will be familiar with her character, be like, oh, cool. I'm excited to see more from it. Because I genuinely am. I think she's great casting. I still felt familiarity with Superman. So when David Corenswith shows up and the way that he talks, he's saying, shoot. And all this sort of stuff, and he's trying to like communicate with Supergirl, but she doesn't speak English, so he's saying, why am I talking louder? Like, it's just those little lines that he has, he's so damn good at this as this character. Like that, this kind of solidifies it. People are still saying, oh, well, I miss Henry Cavill. Nah, man, David Corenswith, he is just, I cannot now imagine better casting for Superman.
No,
because
it's
even in
awesome.
a not great movie that he's also in,
Yeah.
he's also the best part of it.
Like, let me tell you, Jason Momoa doesn't steal the movie like David Corenswet does. I mean,
man.
he's really the best thing about the movie. And
I think more people online talking about, there's a line delivery as towards the end where they're talking about, Supergirl wants to stay on Earth and Krypto's going to be staying too, and he just goes, where's he going to stay? Like, it's just the way that he says that is just like, I don't want this dog.
Yeah.
Because I respect this dog and he's helped me out, but he's not staying here for the love of God.
Yeah,
he's
it
eating
was-
my trash and stuff.
yeah, it was really the only scene that like kind of crackled in the movie.
Yeah,
and you
man.
get this.
It's the very last
Yeah,
one.
and it's the last one, so it leaves you with a good impression.
Yeah, I guess.
And but and it gives you that sort of glimpse of what like this shared universe will be like with these characters interacting.
Yeah.
It's fun.
That's exciting. Sure.
Yeah.
What else? Did I like anything else? I'm not too sure. What didn't I like? I guess, you know what? I can't remember the actress's name. I didn't feel that much for Ruthie.
No,
She tries, and that's cool. And it's, respect
I think
the
it's
try.
a thankless role she gets, and she
That's
doesn't.
true.
She's not able to elevate it.
No, and she doesn't. Again, there's also a visual aspect. Like, I've seen the book's art as well, and the way that Ruthie looks is more like a person from another planet. She's wearing like this sort of like this headdress in the book as well.
Yeah.
That's very distinctive. But in the movie here, she just looks like just a girl. Just a girl with a jacket on. She looks like, honestly, half of this movie just looks like it's taken from either Star Wars, like a Disney Plus Star Wars show, or someone trying to do Guardians.
Yeah.
They do the space bus scene, which has the pirates, another set of pirates who are all female techno pirates, I guess. Now that I'm thinking about it, like, that doesn't really work, because now it's just weird that you've got like a band of all male pirates and a band of all female pirates. I'm like, too many pirates in this movie, all right?
Yeah,
You just don't need that. Maybe make it a bit more focused on the actual bad guy. There we go. There's another thing I didn't like. The bad guy.
No.
He's boring. He's boring as hell. And I
Boring.
get it. In the book, apparently, he's just a guy. He's just some guy. But that doesn't mean you can't make him interesting.
But the book brings up interesting questions of forgiveness, rehabilitation, and revenge, and the bad guy is part of that.
Yeah.
But it's like
Here,
there's the revenge and
it's
the,
just a bloke with some
he's-
dots in his head.
and they don't take it anywhere interesting
No.
because it's just she gives the same old speech of, if you kill him, you'll ruin your life. It just doesn't go anywhere interesting.
I'll give the movie a little bit of credit in that it is not like... some people have also compared this to Thor: The Dark World, which that's a poor comparison because... Not to say it's a poor comparison, but I like the movie more because of that, because what she's trying to do is not some world-ending threat of like, I'm going to exterminate all these people. No, she's just trying to save one person and maybe some other girls as well, because turns out
There's the hint of like,
it's smaller in that way.
there's the hint that's never realized, which is that if she saves this girl, she could save herself because she's in
Yes.
dire straits.
Yeah.
But it's like the movie never comes to that fruition, really.
No.
It doesn't tie together enough where you feel like anything is at stake with this Ruthie character,
Yeah.
or with Supergirl's purpose, sense of purpose.
And it's not to say that this movie should either be bigger.
I'd say it's really underbaked.
Yeah, underbaked is definitely a good way of looking at it. I think also
not terrible, underbaked.
No, yeah, and I think that this movie is $170 million, but it's also only like an hour and 50. And I feel
That tells
like,
you for some reason. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's
but
fine,
When
it's
when I see an hour and 50, I'm like, so much was cut from this movie.
you can feel it. You can feel
so much was cut.
Oh my god! Actually, now you reminded me. The editing. The editing's terrible in this.
is bad. It's bad. It's
Almost
bad. The flow
every-
is junk.
Almost every single action sequence just suffers from like poor geography. You're not really too
Poor
sure.
geography.
No, none of the actual. There's no action beats that really come through.
There's no like reversals really.
No.
Like where she's down and then she rises kind of thing. Or
No.
There's never anything that escalates. Like she's always just fighting these thugs.
Yeah.
And that's the climax too.
lot
It's
of
like
it-
she's just fighting the thugs. And
a
it's
lot
like,
of the dialogue scenes feel very choppy as well. Like they're really trying to like slim it down to its most like just get through this. It's feel like it's trying to get through it, not actually like, let's sit in this moment. Let's really think about where we are and how this can really work. No, we need to get through it because we've got a lot more movie to go. It's like, but that's the wrong way of going about one of these films.
That's exactly it. And this is where I'll say again, he has no handle on the conventions, because you look at Superman,
Craig
right?
Gillespie, you mean? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you look at Superman, the end battle, he's fighting his clone, Ultraman. It's a really hard battle for him. You see him fucking break his shoulder and stuff. It's a struggle for him to win. And then when he gets his powers back and the Raptors descend, and he's like, good luck with that. And he soars up. And the music, I'm getting chills talking about
I know, exactly.
And the music just goes full blast. And he just takes care of them in like this almost cartoony Superman way. And it's like the S zoom in, and you're like, oh my God, it's Superman. Like even the shot when he gets the first good lick into Ultraman, and he just rises up and the sun's behind him. Oh, I get chills again talking about it, Chrissy.
It's absolutely amazing.
Like,
it's why...
Yes, because you feel like, yes, he's gotten beaten a lot in the movie, but this payoff of him taking out the Raptors like that, and Lex Luthor like, oh my God, I've lost. Like his face falling. It feels like an excellent payoff to him having been on the back foot almost the whole movie.
Yeah.
You know?
There's at least one kind of half moment where Supergirl finally puts on the costume first and the sun's behind her, and I'm like, great shot.
It's great shot. The music is right.
Yep.
But it nothing in the story backs this up.
And not even backs it up, but then nothing else happens afterwards.
No.
She then just punches all the bad guys.
It's like Man of Steel action kind of, you know, it's muddy, you know, she's jumping around, hitting them, and...
That's fine, but it also just needs to be... I think also this movie has a big focus problem.
Yes.
I think it either needed to be entirely from Supergirl's point of view...
Or Ruthie's.
Or Ruthie's. And I'm pretty sure the book
in the book
does...
it's Ruthie's.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So when we have like Supergirl and she has this moment, she rises up and then she has the action sequence, why is it then... the bigger moment of her actually using her powers? I also really like that her laser vision is like a lot bigger. Like it seems like she's not holding anything. She doesn't seem like she's holding back with her powers.
Yeah.
So I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's cool.
But then towards the end, and this is kind of also now gotten memed on a little bit, they have this sort of slow-mo circular shot, which is all from Ruthie's perspective as Supergirl's fighting all the bad guys. I'm like, shouldn't we just see that from just Supergirl? Like, we should see Supergirl doing all of this so we can actually get the sense that she's doing it, and it's not just an actress standing in front of a green screen pretending to look at a big dust cloud with some lasers while, for some reason, Jimmy Eat World's The Middle plays.
A cover of Jimmy.
A cover of it. Not even the original.
A kind of slow ballad version. And you just think... why this song?
I know.
Where does this... who is hearing the song? Is Ruthie hearing it, or is Supergirl hearing it?
And I know they put them in the trailer. Couldn't you just use Blondie's Call on Me? Like
Call Me, yeah.
Call Me, sorry. That was the song in the trailers, and that worked. It kind of fit the vibe. It's kind of, got a little bit of 80s flavor or something.
Spunky. It's a spunky song.
The character's literally a blonde girl.
And she's a blonde girl.
Like,
so you see it. It's like rote. It's a rote choice, but with The Middle, I'm just like, I'm perplexed. Like, why not the original? Like, why this cover? And apparently they went through 45 iterations of picking a song.
And this was picked, like, in the last week
which,
of editing.
again, tells to me, there were three composers that ran through this movie. I'm like, they had no idea what this movie should be.
Yeah, that's always the biggest sign when something, maybe not is in trouble, but they don't know what it wants to be. When I've seen this a bunch with superhero films where they'll pick one composer, then that person gets fired, then they go through another and another. And this happened with this movie. It was supposed to be Ramin Djawadi, then it was Junkie XL, and now it's just, what's her name, Claudia something.
Schiffer or something.
Yeah, I don't even know. She's not even someone that I had even heard of
Never.
before.
I mean...
it happened with Captain Marvel as well. That was supposed to be Ramin Djawadi as well. Initially, and then I think it was, and then it turned out to be this other person who, again, did a fine job. Yeah. But I don't remember what the theme is. I remember what the Superman theme is because they used it in the trailer. All All right?
Yeah.
And then that stuck in my brain. So the whole lead up to this movie was that theme. And then when I finally see the movie, and it's not just the John Williams theme, but it's also this sort of other version of it.
The great thing of the Superman theme is that it's a motif. So they use a version of it during the sad, sort of slower scenes. Dun, dun,
Yeah, it's a leitmotif.
And then when he
It's
rises...
like the fundamentals of film
Yeah,
composing.
exactly. And then when he gets powerful, it's like... Like,
Yeah.
it feels like it's flying.
Exactly. And it doesn't... The theme for Supergirl...
It's just vaguely heroic sounding.
Yeah.
There's no personality
I think we
to it.
hummed it out of the movie.
Yeah, I did, because I liked it. Like, I actually did.
I remember
but I
it-
cannot remember it.
No, I remember it out of the film, but
Yeah.
then a week later, I'm like, what was it again?
No
I'd have to
clue.
listen to the score.
Yeah.
And we talked about film composing with Disclosure Day and how, like, you know, John Williams,
Yeah.
his music doesn't really come through. But I recently watched Disclosure Day again, and that music's not meant to be that because it's not the same thing.
Yes, it has a different function, yeah.
Superheroes have to have
The music
leitmotifs.
it has to back up the character, you know.
It has to be that because it's the whole thing about it. I mean, from the very fundamentals of it, it started with Superman and then it led into Batman movies as well. They had a definitive theme.
Yes.
Every version of Batman has a definitive theme that really does underscore
And, yeah,
who they are as a hero.
Even when the music is lacking, like, I mean, not the music, the movie is lacking, like Man of Steel, Hans Zimmer really tries.
Even Wonder Woman has that.
Yeah.
Na, 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 na,
Yeah.
na. Like, I still remember that. I don't love that movie,
yeah.
but I still remember that theme.
It adds something, and, you know, it maybe even provides something that's not really there in the story.
Yeah.
But this one, again, it's like, well, the needle drops, I don't remember any of the songs.
No, a lot of it has needle drops.
I
Which,
did remember, like, kind of complimenting, being like, well, none of them were the obvious choices.
No,
they
there's
weren't
no-
James Gunn kind of picks. They weren't like, it wasn't that, but it was like, I don't remember that.
But that's my problem is that it starts to feel like they're just putting in songs for
Just
the sake of having songs because it wants to have that sort of Guardians of the Galaxy vibe.
It wants the vibe, but it has, again, no understanding of story because it's like, why is she listening to Earth music?
No.
Like, she should have no connection to... She doesn't like it.
Or maybe
Like,
she likes like one band or one little playlist or something.
Yeah.
But we don't get the sense that that's what she's doing.
yeah, you get the idea kind of in this one shot, which I did like, where she's, like, in Clark's apartment in a
Yes,
flashback.
love that bit.
It's a nice grace note because it's like she feels isolated and it seems like the music is something that's giving her some comfort. Mm-hmm. But again, it's underbaked. Like, there should be specific songs or some bigger reason to it, you know?
I think you could honestly, and I might end up doing this, I could probably take all the Krypton bits and some of the Earth bits and like the scene at the end and make a nice little short film.
You could actually.
That's more directly connected to the DCU and
Yeah.
less this sort of underbaked plot of this movie because I don't care about the villain. I didn't end up caring about Ruthie's plot,
which is a big fail because you're really supposed to be invested
Exactly.
in
You're supposed to feel that like her conquest for revenge, you know, isn't supposed to end which way or the other. Like there's supposed to be this conflict as to if she gets to this point, what is that going to do to her? And it kind of does that. But again, I didn't feel that. It's there on paper.
Yeah.
But it's not really coming through off the screen and into your mind. All right, and that's what I felt. I just felt this disconnect watching this movie that I didn't feel.
There's a disconnect, yeah.
I didn't feel as you know, terrifically entertained. I wasn't laughing as much as it. But even though there is entertainment, there's action, there's comedy.
Yeah.
There's emotional moments that are on the page.
Yeah.
But I didn't feel that, and I'll keep saying this because I just can't help it. But when I saw Superman last year, it wasn't just all the action elements. It wasn't just, you know, oh, cool, Mr. Terrific's fun and Crypto's cool and all these crazy visuals and the colorful elements and music. None of that. What really worked for me, what solidified for me, this is an all-timer right now. And no matter what people want to say subsequently, is the scene where he finally confronts Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
And he has this moment where Lex actually hurts his feelings. He insults him by calling him an alien piece of shit.
Yeah.
And he just says, that's where you're always wrong about me. I laugh, I hurt, I get scared, you know, I get up every day and that's what makes me human.
Yeah.
You know, and because you can't see that, well, you know, then I feel sorry for you, basically. It's just that moment where he finally takes upon himself to actually just talk to him, to try and not even like appeal to him, but to prove that like, I am human as much as I want to be, okay? I am living that every single day and you can't see that. then I feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
And it's just this wonderful moment. I got emotional immediately watching it because I knew what it meant, not only for that character, but for people who were going to see that character finally on screen do something that's actually what Superman is, and not just some weird messed up version of what people think he is.
Yeah. Very true. It felt very true.
And I just didn't have that in this movie.
No, and then you end it with him watching his real parents, and it leaves you on the loveliest note.
Also a great needle drop there. Not an obvious one.
And it was thematically appropriate to the movie.
I'm a punk rocker. Yes, I am.
Yeah, and it also feels like something he would listen to.
Yeah.
Like, it just resonated and sang so right.
Yeah.
And I think it's not just they think, again, this director misunderstands. It's not just a matter of putting in a good sounding song and, there's things happening on screen. Like, there needs to be a deeper meaning to these things.
I think even though I would say that this is a better made on sort of like a fundamental level, I would say this is a better made movie than, say, like Blue Beetle. There's just a random DC movie example. But Blue Beetle kind of stands at my brain a little bit more because it focuses on some random Mexican kid who gets superpowers. And then when he finally, is more in control of the suit, and he has this action beat where he's like kicking dudes in the face, and he can construct a hammer and a big bunter sword and all that. Again, not the best movie, but that sticks out in my brain because it's oh, that was pretty fun and weird and kind of cool, and I used it in my best shots of the year video because it was actually really interesting.
It had a stronger vision to it, which is
exactly
crazy that I'm saying that about Blue Beetle in
I know,
comparison
exactly.
to this.
How weird is that? But I think that's what I think this director he gets stuck in this realm, which is that if you're gonna make a superhero movie, and this is kind of why this movie's not doing very well, I think, is because you can feel this from the trailer that it doesn't have a truly distinctive feeling to it. Superman had that. Wonder Woman had that. Blue Beetle actually failed, so we won't use that as a good example. But even if you want to watch that movie, it still has something different going for it. And it's not enough to just say, well, it's Supergirl. It's a Supergirl movie. It's like, okay, but what is that to people? That people know what a Spider-Man movie is going to feel like because it's got Tom Holland, it's got Zendaya. People are going to go watch that movie. It's not that superhero movies are dead. It's that people have figured out which heroes they want to see already. They probably will go see them if they do a new Wonder Woman movie. They'll probably be a lot more interested in that because it's Wonder Woman. Because you know the name, you know what you're probably going to get from it, and they're most likely, at least I hope, going to do something fresh with that character. All right, they've only done it once beforehand, so got to do something different now. But with Supergirl, they just don't have anything. The director doesn't have a vision. There's not this, unique pitch to it. There's not even like a standout visual element that could really make people think, "Oh, wow, that looks really different."
And you never feel like, "Oh, wow, I'm watching a great hero."
No.
And that's definitely in Woman of Tomorrow, the book. But it's like they didn't want to do that in the movie. And in the marketing material, it's like you don't get that hook. Like there's no "Oh, this is Supergirl." Like I guess in the Superman trailers, they don't do Superman directly as much, but it's like they've got the kids raising the flag.
Yeah.
Like Superman,
Even the first visual of him is him he's gotten his ass kicked. It's like, oh, this Superman.
It's a hook. It's like
Superman can bleed.
He's vulnerable.
Yeah, man.
What's going on there?
And this time, or even just the simple tagline of this time he's got a dog. It's like, okay, what does that mean? Well, you're going to have to find out, I guess. This one, but for this, is like, it's Supergirl, but she gets drunk. It's like...
She gets drunk, and she's sad,
That's it.
And...
It's not like, here's a visual of Supergirl, slumped over with blood on her face, holding a sword. It's like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And I've seen that
Is she
visual.
like Conan the Barbarian?
Because that was the first image that they showed to announce this movie was the image from Woman of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Her slumped over.
With the sword.
Not like the terrible posture.
Yeah.
Like not trying to stand up and be heroic and doing a pose. No, she's slumped over, blood on her face, holding a sword. It's like, okay, what's the context of that? I have no idea. Imagine they made that the poster. If they just leaned into the darkest elements of it, or even just the sort of true comic book nature where you can really make things truly pop off the page and be even like a fundamental, let's go pay $20-$30 to go see this in IMAX, for example. You want to get a real visual experience from that. This movie is in IMAX theaters. It's film for IMAX.
Yeah.
I cannot say this really is worth it in IMAX.
No,
There's
no
nothing
way.
here that made me think, wow, what a great visual to use that full aspect ratio for. It's not there, unfortunately.
Yeah. I
It's
think
unfortunate that this movie is the way that it is now
I think
for
it's
us.
just unfortunate, and I think they probably shouldn't have used this story right now to adapt this character, and
No.
it should have been something that, again, I say it should have appealed to like young girls or kids.
Yeah.
Like a kid cannot watch this movie, which I'm like, but it's Supergirl. Like they should, it should be for kids. Like a kid should be able to go in there and be inspired. And it's like, it's not inspiring, it's depressing. Like even
That's why I think Wonder Woman worked more for people when it came out.
even when I say me, I'm a 33-year-old man, and it's over for me.
Yeah.
And I liked that she stabbed the guy in the throat, but that's for me. But it's like, if you're a girl watching that, like, what do you take away from this shit? Like, nothing. It's almost, I don't know. It's wrong. It's wrong to do it this way. It should
what I'm saying
inspire
is-
like awe and wonder
Yeah.
in kids. Like, you need to be building up.
And she doesn't need to be like a Disney princess. Or
No,
anything
I'm
like
not
that.
saying that. Not
No.
at all. No. Yeah, like we don't have to go all at one, but it's like the way you approach this, just fundamentals, as her as like a drunk, and she's sad for most of it, and she's getting depowered all the time, and she's fighting sex traffickers.
I reckon this would actually have worked better if it was a series.
Yeah, it should be like
And
a
that's-
HBO Max series,
And that's not to
animated
say
series.
that she doesn't deserve a movie. I think she absolutely does.
No.
But I don't think that she deserved this. I don't think
Yeah.
that this Millie Alcock deserved this movie to be as underbaked as it is. She deserves to really, really get something that she can sink her teeth into. And she does. As an actress, she does. But I don't think the movie does her any service. It doesn't actually warrant that kind of level of focus and dedication she has to the character. She's giving so much.
Yeah.
But the movie's not giving enough back.
No.
Even to us as the audience.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's why I really praise her in it, because it's like, man, with what she was given, it's like she almost makes
does a
this
lot.
kind of work. you know?
Yeah. Again, if she's going to be Amanda tomorrow, hell yeah.
No, awesome. Yeah.
And I love that. I said this to you before this movie came out. I could already see it. I'm not really all that surprised. I'm disappointed by the movie itself, but I'm not surprised by its very bad box office.
Oh,
right now.
Lord, we got to talk about that. Like,
It debuted to $37 million, which is worse than The Flash, Morbius, and The Marvels
Man.
of note. It opened worse than Joker 2.
Worse than
A
Joker
favorite of this podcast, I think.
worse than Joker too. And
It's better than most of those, I would say. I think I actually like the Marvels more than this, personally. I think the Marvels at least is actually more for little girls, because it's got like cute
Well, yeah.
cats and it's got like a younger
It
female
knows the
protagonist.
audience better, for
It's
sure.
got more superpower stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's now looking to be a like $100 million loss for Warner Brothers, which really sucks because they were doing actually pretty well, especially last year, even partially into this year as well. They were doing not bad for themselves as on the sort of movie side. What I hope, though, is that, okay, this movie's not doing well. It's flopping, unfortunately. By the way, that's actually really not all that surprising for DC. They very rarely have like a genuine financial success. That's just only
how
10...
long can this continue where they just are pumping out flop after flop?
I think that's the thing. It was worse before with stuff like Black Adam and The Flash, and Aquaman 2 actually made money, but like Blue
Which
Beetle...
is kind of like
yeah.
crazy.
Well, Aquaman's just that just hits, I guess,
Yeah.
more for people. But like Blue Beetle was a disappointment. Birds of Prey was a disappointment.
Yeah.
I think what was worse then was there was no vision. There was no guiding hand.
No.
It was just throwing shit out there, throwing shit at a wall, seeing what
None of it
sticks.
was
You know,
cohesive.
Here's Black Adam. Oh, it's Superman is at the end, but here's the Flash, and we've got Michael Keaton Batman. It's like, what is any of this?
Yeah.
But at least with this movie, and this is actually a positive. At least by the end of this, even if I'm not that crazy hot about it, I still feel like it fits. It fits in the DCU. It's got Superman. It doesn't do some like crazy weird thing. It doesn't try and like throw out some bizarre new element. It's just kind of a not great new entry in the universe. Marvel has had plenty of those. Hell, their second movie is The Incredible Hulk, a movie not many people really remember as being that great. All right, it's fine, I guess. It's kind of like this movie. I think they're both fine, I guess.
You know, but speaking of like a bit about how this movie was sort of presented to people and why it's flopping, I've seen this comment around and it seems a small thing, but I think there's something to it. Do you think it was a mistake in one of the trailers? It opens with the dog pissing on Superman.
I mean, that's kind of like that sort of maybe not a mistake, but it's trying to make a statement of like, hey, this isn't your dad's Supergirl. It's like,
I know, but
what?
it's like I think that put people off. It's
Maybe,
like
but
I don't think
because also they still do it. I feel like there also is like, well, we had a lot of the dog stuff in the last movie. What? It was still doing the dog?
No, there's nothing wrong with the dog, but it's
Yeah.
just like that image of him pissing on Superman.
I think it's meant to, because also like the poster.
I think
has,
it
like,
was a miscalculation to do that.
Oh, the poster has like a tagline of like truth, justice, whatever.
Even that, having the word whatever, it kind of says to you, even subconsciously, like, I feel apathetic. Like, there's no urgent. I know it communicates something about her character in as far as she's different from Superman, but it's not really enough to hook you and be like, who is this Supergirl?
Yeah.
Like, there's not that. It's
No.
just like, she's not Superman, and she's kind of a mess and someone you'd want to avoid in real life. Like,
Yeah.
I think I get the take. Like, again, I'm not shitting on the take, but I'm thinking about how you present these DC characters, which are supposed to be mythic and larger than life and great heroes. And when you're presenting them in this style of like, that's someone I wouldn't even want to meet in real life. And I know people like that and I don't like them. And I think that really kind of factors into it's a total rejection. This is not just like kind of under expectations. Like,
people are just not interested.
they
straight
have
up.
there's nothing.
No.
Like, and I think the presentation of it was just wrong. It was conceived wrong.
I think people want to talk about, is it this person's fault, this person's fault? Honestly,
No, it's just.
I think it is the
wrong.
marketing. I think it's absolutely
Marketing's
marketing's
huge.
problem. I think because the marketing is just kind of nothing. I mean, compared to the teaser trailer for Superman, which just creates this real mythic quality to that character.
exactly.
Like, even if it shows him being bleeding, but it's like, okay, that's different, and then it builds and builds until that splash page moment where he saves the girl from the
Exactly.
exploding
That's
things.
the thing. That's a hook, right?
Exactly.
There.
It didn't. The trailer didn't have as much of a hook. It has like he sees the good in people, I see the truth.
Yeah.
Good line, sure, but it doesn't really have that hook.
It doesn't really mean anything. It just
No.
kind of sounds good, but it's like, what? Superman doesn't see the truth. And what do you mean?
And if we're talking, sort of facts and figures that ticket prices are what they are, and I'm not saying
that's true too.
I'm not saying that people don't go to the movie. No,
Toy Story 5 is murdering.
This year is much better for movie going than any year post COVID. That's just facts.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why people are not going to go see this is not because it's a superhero. All right, we've already mentioned in a previous episode that like Avengers, Doomsday, and Spider-Man
they're going to be the top grossers.
They're going to make bank.
Yeah.
All right, and I think even Man of Tomorrow is actually going to do pretty well because Superman has stayed in people's minds.
And it did great on like VOD and stuff.
Yeah, it also still did really well for itself in cinemas as well. It was like one of the top 10 domestic grosses of the year. Fantastic, no problem. You can build off of that.
Yeah.
But I think that for this movie, it simply just had not interesting enough vibes.
No, that's the thing.
And when people want to make those decisions between, we do want to go see this or want to go see this. Do we want to go see Toy Story 5 that we can have a pretty good certain idea that that's going to be pretty worth it because, hey, all the other ones were pretty good as well.
They're not a glut on the market. I mean, the last one was 7 years ago.
Also, this is a horrible idea to release a Supergirl movie in between Toy Story 5 and the new Minions. And then in a week, we're going to have the Odyssey, or they're going to have Moana, then the Odyssey,
And you've
then
also
Spider-Man.
got like the World Cup. Like, it's just crazy.
I reckon, I thought about this, you should have swapped this with Mortal Kombat 2. That came out in early May.
Or put this in like September or something. I don't know.
Maybe not September. That's kind of a dumping ground. I would say March. Maybe March or April. Because then it doesn't put too much pressure on this movie to perform as a summer tentpole because you don't have that guarantee that it really will. Sure, again, the last Superman movie did really well for itself.
Yeah.
But that had years of development of anticipation to finally see this character done well. Supergirl is she's just another DC character at the end of the day. It's like if they made a Martian Manhunter movie, a big summer tentpole. Even myself, as a big Martian Manhunter fan, I've got the pop vinyl, I've got the comics. I would not put out him as I would put that as a February film.
You know
I put
what's
that
crazy?
as a November movie.
If we didn't get invited to that screening, I'm not even sure I would have paid to watch this. I might have actually waited for it.
Maybe.
And
I would have gone, but I don't even want to go see this again. Most superhero films that I like or genuinely have a pretty good feeling from.
Yeah.
I do try and go see twice to try and get a lot more information.
And I tell
in my brain.
people, like, you should check it out. Let's go watch it together. Like, it's fun to watch this
I
together.
saw Black Widow like twice as well because I actually, fun fact, I actually like that movie.
Yeah,
even
the
though
opening credits
there's
are
two
great.
shots in it that look really bad.
Yeah.
The rest of it's fine.
Yeah.
I try and do that. I remember I watched Doctor Strange 2 and I wasn't super hot on it the first time I watched it. But when I saw it again, I went, no, actually, I like this a lot more. I can see what they're doing. And you know what? I vibe with it.
Yeah.
Whereas Supergirl, I saw what they were doing, and I thought it was fine, but I haven't had any desire at all to go see it again in the last week or so.
No.
And if you can't get me, the guy that goes to see a lot of movies twice, to go see it again, then what hope is there for your general movie
But you can kind of tell where, like, when you Google the movie and you see the show times shrinking every day, you're like, this is not getting any interest or momentum.
Especially, I mean, we're not in 2016 anymore.
No, that's the thing. It's like, it's way too late for this kind of thing to do it like this.
It's not a guarantee. I mean, even look at Marvel. I mean, look at what we mentioned. I'll say it again: Spider-Man, Avengers, Doomsday. But that's it.
Yeah,
that's all they've got this year. Because I think they also learned some lessons last year in that Fantastic Four did pretty well.
Okay.
It did like 500 million worldwide, which is good, but for a Marvel movie, that's
for a
not.
Fantastic Four, like Marvel's first family, that's kind of
That's actually it's the highest grossing Fantastic Four movie. However, it is one of the lowest grossing Marvel movies. It's like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Thunderbolts was kind of a flop, unfortunately. Even though it's actually really good.
Yeah.
Captain America did a barely anything. Like I think it barely broke even.
Yeah, but probably didn't.
No,
probably didn't.
And also, it was kind of bad.
It was bad.
If you're not getting, and that movie also just feels like yet another Captain America movie, but this one has Hulk in it. Okay, is that enough to go watch? No.
That novelty that could, support just putting on any old character on the big screen.
If it's not Batman, Spider-Man, or an Avengers, you got to do something really.
You got to really have a hook to the story.
Yeah.
And
I think Thunderbolts works fine because that's a really good movie that didn't work for people. Okay, but they still have faith in those characters. If it's not Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, or Avengers, then you got to do something different. I said that before.
That's exactly
before I
right.
said it again.
This movie would have done reasonably well 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But we're way past the sort of ecosystem where that can do pretty good.
I think Warner Brothers needs to take some lessons about how to market these DC movies. But I think
conceptually,
I think DC doesn't need to take as many like hard lessons about this. I think that they tried, it didn't come together. Fine. I've seen way worse from other universes that have failed fresh out of the gate. I think that this is a rocky second step, but it's like a sophomore album. A lot of people don't really do that well on the second try.
No, but I think you got to think about the global audience, Chrissy. I think even to most people, the DC brand is still like the shit from the Hamada era and the Snyder era.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
And they just think, and this might as well be part of that. Like, it doesn't,
I think DC Studios is still fine because you got Clayface out in October. That's a $40 million horror movie.
Yeah.
Even if it is a Batman villain, it's a $40 million horror movie.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And that one has a hook.
If that costs like $100 million, I'd be like, oh, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
But because it's 40, I'm like, all right. You probably got a hit on your hands, most likely, I think.
It legitimately looks thrilling and scary.
Hell yeah. You got Man of Tomorrow, building off of Superman. Cool.
Yeah.
Look, all the stuff that we've seen, set
And
photos
you have the idea, which I'm sure will be prominent in the marketing, of Superman and Lex Luthor teaming up, which is like, wow. Like,
and doing Brainiac as well. Finally doing Brainiac.
Like shit you've never seen.
Exactly.
And then the Batman Part 2... that's going to blow the hinges off
I reckon
the door.
that's going to be as big as like The Dark Knight in terms of the build up from 1 to 2 in that way. Rating for Supergirl.
It's a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, I'd say maybe
down the middle.
Yeah, I'll probably say 6. Maybe 5 thumbs up. Maybe it might elevate to 6 thumbs up. But yeah, I would say every single day since I've seen it, it's
diminished in my mind.
It's going lower and lower in my rankings. It's going lower even than Blue Beetle at this point. Yeah. That sucks.
Disappointing.
Oh, well. We'll move on to things we've watched. I think I'll just say I watched the first 2 episodes of House of the Dragon, Season 2. Season 3, sorry.
Excellent, isn't it? It's fucking awesome.
It's way better than Season 2. Already.
It should have been the finale of Season 2.
That's what I thought. That's exactly what I thought.
If you ended season 2 with that Rhaenyra and Alicent stare off.
Not to spoil anything, but yeah, sure. I mean,
No, who cares? I mean, we're talking spoilers, okay? This is a spoiler. Yeah.
That should be a thing going forward.
That's
Just
how
like,
you
we'll just do spoilers, fuck it.
That's how you end it.
I know. That is absolutely a way better. Because I rewatched season 1 and then watched season 2, I think earlier this year, actually.
Yeah.
And I hadn't watched season 2 when it came out because I think I just heard consistently mixed things from you and from my brother. And then when I finally did watch it, I was like, it was fine, I guess. But that ending was just so weird and
anticlimactic.
So flat.
But the great thing is that when people watch it in future, they're not going to care about that because I'll just watch season 3, episode 1, and it's like
Season 3, episode 1 is the classic 9th episode of Game of Thrones, where it's the big battle, the big sort of everything's built up to this.
And the 10th episode sets up the new status quo.
Exactly.
So it's like, obviously that was meant to be the end of season 2.
Which is weird that they're still wanting to do a season 4, because I'm like, as far as I've read in terms of where characters go, there's going to be... I predict that they're going to kill off Matt Smith at the end of this season. That's going to be the end of this season, is the whole him and Aemond fighting.
You reckon that'll be this season?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Because there was some things that Matt Smith had said where he's like, oh, is there going to be a season 4? Is there? Oh, I didn't know that. I'm just like...
Yeah. The battle above the gods.
Which I think will happen, but I think it's going to be a worse idea, because if they do that, that means that season 4...
What do you leave season 4 with?
They got nothing. At that point, it's just fallout. It's just everything starts falling apart.
And what, season 4 is like 3 episodes or something?
But I'm also very curious because, as far as I have read, this show, the way that they've been doing the histories, this is because it's based off a history book.
Yeah, it is.
Within the Game of Thrones universe.
Yeah.
It's doing a lot of very different things. It's not doing the same plots of like, oh, this is where this character went and then they met this person. Like, for example, Rhaena, the person, she flies a sheep stealer, the wild dragon.
Yeah.
That's not her in the books. That's a completely different character.
Yeah.
Who's not here.
They've like consolidated some, because there's so many characters.
Yeah.
And even this show has that trouble where there's too many similarly named characters.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Rhaenyra, Rhaena, Rhaenys.
Yeah. Baela.
Meleys, Caraxes, all these sort of like blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Damon, Darren.
Yeah.
There's like 2 Aegons at this point. Jaehaerys, Jacaerys.
Aemon, Dagon, it's just... I've read the fucking Fire and Blood, and I'm a Game of Thrones fanatic, and even I'm like, I fucking give up.
It's like
that guy.
Aegons,
Daeron, like Daemon,
There's Viserys, there's Viserion, there's just all this sort of... Yeah, anyway, there's all this sort of stuff. And I'm curious still... What I like, though, is that you could read into the wikis and find out, how did this character die, or whatever.
Yeah.
I think the show is going to still play us for a lot of surprises.
Yeah.
I think that still they've done this consistently now. Is like, oh, they're doing this at this point. Okay.
Yeah.
Rhaenyra's taken the throne now because she's supposed to do it when this guy dies. Or this thing's already supposed to happen here.
Yeah.
Or even at the Battle of the Gullet, the 3 bastards are supposed to be there with their dragons.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, but they're not. They're hanging out in Harrenhal getting spooked by a witch. It's like, all right.
I like the angle of the dragon seed. Like, they're creating an interesting idea with them. Like, if you give the weapons of war to these, one of them is a lowlife. Like,
what? I'm not still convinced on their characters, because they still just kind of feel like, don't worry, they'll be important later. I'm like, they better be important soon, because I'm getting kind of bored of the one dude being like, oh, do I get a castle? Or do I get like a knighthood?
But I like that because it's so different, like, from the rest of the characters.
One thing I adore is the Valarians, or the sort of Valarian
I'm really
bloodline.
invested in Alan, like the Valarian bastard.
Or just even seeing Adam fly, like a black dude flying a dragon. I'm like, that is so cool, because I always loved from the first season onwards Corlys Valarian's look, the sort of the black dude with the big white dreadlocks, the master of the sea. I'm like, that is so cool. I don't know what it is. It's something
aesthetics hit
that I always loved about the show, is that it did embrace that. I just hope that they find a way to still make those characters fit, that they don't feel like they're getting pushed aside. 'Cause I think Rhaena had a horrible last season. Like, she ended it going off to find the wild dragon, but the rest of it's just like she's just kind of hanging about because her betrothed died, so now she's just kind of useless. It's
but
like,
I think one of my favorite things, I guess, tonally about this story and how the show presents it is that obviously it's about a civil war. So like, obviously you're kind of meant to be on Rhaenyra's side. I think she's a bit more of the sympathetic character. But whatever happens, it never feels like it's a win. Like, it feels like you're actually watching a total collapse of something.
One thing I will say, especially the second episode, Emma Darcy is consistently the best thing in this whole show.
Give them the fucking...
Her reaction to her son's death.
Oh, Jesus
It reminded me
Christ.
of Hamnet.
It did, yes,
That sort
very
of like
much so.
Total
like
abandoned,
primordial grief. Like,
incredible! And then even when she sits on the Iron Throne, there is this look that she has, like she's pained. She's just had to kill someone she knew when she was a child and did a pretty piss poor job of doing that. And she's in so much pain. She finally sits on the throne and she's still crying because she's still in mourning over her son's death. She also used his sword to cut Otto's head off. That's the sword that she has. Is Jace's sword.
It is?
Oh, that's fun.
Okay.
And she's in such pain, but then suddenly when Alicent shows up, there's this look that it just changes. The shot holds on the way that she changes her face.
From sorrow to like defiance and then assuming power.
And I was like, oh my God. She's not going to get the Emmy, by the way. You know why? Because bloody, what's his face? Paddy Considine, who played her dad, had that amazing moment in season 1 where he finally climbs the tower, climbs the throne. People were like, give him the Emmy. Wasn't even nominated.
I know.
The
need
Emmys
to
don't
correct
want
that.
this show, all right?
They need to correct that.
I know.
But have they been nominated, Emma Darcy, for...
I don't know. I have no idea. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't last season, but it has to be for this season.
Yeah, it has to be, because already I'm blown the fuck away. And I'm invested in Rhaenyra's story again, which I was not, because it was so static last season.
Because they were just kind of hanging about.
Going in circles and hanging in the fortress.
Having a weird bisexual adventure, just being like,
I was like, this just feels like you got nothing to do with it.
No, exactly. Well, the same thing with Daemon. He was just kind of getting spooked at a castle last season. It's like,
it's like, it was wheel spinning. Some setup, but now it's just like going.
If this season can be as great as these first 2 episodes,
it'll be the best season of the show.
Excellent, no problem, because you got a lot to fix after the sort of let's just kind of put the pieces in place of last season, I guess. It's gonna go crazy. But that's what I'm saying is that like that's where the book goes. But I wouldn't be surprised if this show just really decides, no, we're going to do something real different. But you can't do
just a straightforward adaptation, because the book is written like this happened and then this happened. There's not like much characterization.
When a lot of the characterizations, as I've seen, are different. Like Alicent and Rhaenyra are the same age in the show. They're not the same age in the book. No,
it's more like an evil stepmother and...
I think it's so much better than they made them sisters.
Yeah, in the show, it's much more emotionally resonant. For like a TV, it's much better.
Yeah, and her dad is supposed to be like some big fat glutton, but instead
he's just neglectful. Yeah, but it's like in the show, it's given a tragic dimension because it's like, well, he couldn't really attend to this because he was getting eaten alive by AIDS or whatever the fuck he had. Yeah,
and he had to, bear heirs, but like I have this sorrow for him. I'm just like, I don't think he really wanted to do this because he really didn't want to marry a child. But everyone's just like, no, do it. It's a great idea. And he's just like, I don't know about this.
You really felt how he was so imprisoned to the system, like that his family built. Really,
it really felt like he wanted to find. That's why he named Rhaenyra heir. But I'm very excited to see where this season's going to be going.
Yeah.
I think it'll be good for this podcast to be catching up with. We'll be doing every 2 episodes.
Yeah,
so we've done now first 2 episodes, and we'll do the next 2 for the next 2 weeks, which will be very solid.
And X-Men 97, check that out. Season 2 is out now. That's
right. That's out now. Okay.
There's a surprise for the opening credits of episode 2.
Yeah.
That's absolutely sick.
I will at some point get around to that show.
It's fucking sick.
I know I should.
It's excellent.
I think we could wrap it up there.
Yeah, we could wrap it up here.
We've already gone for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
It was good. Good Supergirl discussion. If you want to reach out to the podcast, you can email us at moviesarebackpodcast@gmail.com, or especially give us a like and a comment in the YouTube video that you're probably watching, because that's where I post them. Duh. But comment down there to give us thoughts about Supergirl as well. Any questions you want to ask us to here, we'll be happy to answer that. You can find me on Blue Sky at Christopher John spelled with a 0. Also the same thing on Instagram as well. You can find Rhys here.
You can find me right here.
Exactly.
Right now.
And thank you very much for listening, and we will see you later.
Yeah, boy.